So now more than ever, we need a place on the web that is our own and uniquely ours, but also stands out in a crowded marketplace. Since COVID-19, everyone from brick and mortars to school to entrepreneurs have rushed to the internet, and they're trying to uplevel and optimize their web presence because people have no other choice, right? Things are opening up a little bit more, but it's still a phenomenal idea. It was always important. It's even that much more important. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 7 ways to improve your website. I'm Casey Rossi. I'm a business and mindset coach, and I help female entrepreneurs grow thriving businesses without burning out. So let's dive into today's topic. Number 1 is branding. And with these tips, I want you to take a look at your website with fresh eyes. And you can go ahead and just jot down some of the things that jump out specifically for you. I know it's very, very common for entrepreneurs to kind of set it and forget it when it comes to their website. It's almost something that they're thrilled to get checked off their website, their to-do list, I should say. But we want to actually, use this opportunity to draw people in, continue the conversation, and build our list. So I'm going to kind of go through the list and share with you these 7 tips. The first one, like I said, is branding. When you first jump on your website, look at it with fresh eyes, take a step back and see, is my brand consistent? Is it eye-catching? And most importantly, is it memorable? If you can say yes to those 3, then that's awesome. If you cannot, what can you do to get those boxes ticked? What can you do to express yourself more clearly? Are your core values showing up? Is it something that your ideal target audience is going to be interested or attracted to? Because remember, we are visual beings and we're pulled to and attracted to things that are appealing. So you want to definitely make sure that there is a message being spoken through your visuals, through your brand. Really an important building block. Number 2 is your messaging. Is it really clear who you're communicating to? And again, this dovetails a little bit into niche. So how narrow is your niche? Because like we all have heard, if you're speaking to everyone, then no one's listening. And when you really think about that, if we are trying to serve every man, woman, and child, then our messaging is not going to come off as specific and targeted. You want your messaging to be read by your visitor like, wow, this person is in my head. They know my struggles. They know me. I feel like I can really resonate with them because they have their finger on the pulse of my journey. So definitely take a step back and look at your messaging. Is it clear? Is it clear not only who you are, but who you help? I remember years ago when I had a coach, she looked at my website and she said, wow, you have so many labels on the outside of your box that no one's quite sure what's inside. And that was really shocking to me. And sometimes we can be so close to our own business that we really need to take a look at it with fresher eyes, or even get an outside perspective from a biz buddy that you trust, or a coach, or even an official website audit. But a lot of this you can DIY, and that's the beauty of these tips. So really take a step back. Is it clear who I am? Is it clear who I help? Is it clear the problem that I solve? So the more specific that you are, the better, because people buy specific solutions. So definitely make sure that those are kind of getting really communicated efficiently and concisely throughout each of your pages, but especially on your homepage. When a visitor lands on your homepage, they should immediately know who you are, who you help, and basically they're going to be looking at everything through the eyes of what's in it for me. So when you're creating something, you want to actually be sitting in the seat of the web visitor and make sure that you can very clearly answer the what's in it for me questions that are going to arise. Tip number 3 is your website actually helping you to build your list? Because no matter how many social media channels that you are on, you don't own those contacts. What you do have jurisdiction over is your email list. So you always want to be building your list. Are there opportunities on your website to bring new visitors in? The key one is what's known as a primary lead magnet, and that is generally on your homepage above the fold. And above the fold just basically means before the visitor actually has to scroll. You really want that to be front and center. You want to use a lead magnet that's going to have a hook and provide value and grab that attention of your web visitors so they know, yep, this is my person. They're speaking to me. They're offering me value. They're giving me something for free. It's not enough anymore to just say join my email list or subscribe to my newsletter. That was like 10 years ago. So make sure that you have something that is a really airtight primary core lead magnet, so your visitor actually is motivated enough to give you their contact details in exchange for that freebie. If you want more information on lead magnets or how to build a lead magnet email nurture sequence, which basically is just a series of emails that you can set up on automation that can come after they have opted in, let me know and I'll do a dedicated episode because it is a crucial piece of your website. It's a crucial piece of your communication and your marketing. So we want to have multiple lead magnets on our site. Your primary one with your freebie, your goodie. You could do content upgrades on your blog. So giving them a portion of the blog and then having them opt in or give you their email address and contact information to go further or to have a downloadable PDF or cheat sheet or checklist. There's a lot of creative ways you can have them get notified for behind the scenes information from your podcast or anything that you're doing in your world. Think of different creative ways that you can encourage the viewer or the website visitor to have some motivation to give you their name and email. So you always want to be list building. That's tip number 3. Definitely go through your website and make sure that there's enough of those opportunities so you can build a community and encourage conversation and engagement, because that's what's going to bring you clients, my friends, is continuing to provide value and having an opportunity to continue the conversation with that new visitor or that new subscriber. Number 4, calls to action. Calls to action are any opportunities on your website or buttons that takes your visitor to the next step. We want to be right there with our web visitor and showing them, leading them by the hand to the very next thing that we want them to do. Maybe it is to book a discovery call with you. Maybe it is to join you on a social platform like LinkedIn or Instagram. Perhaps it is to learn more about you if you're on an about page and guide them to how can I help you? Click here to my sales page. So using that about page as a stair step to bring the reader to your sales page. So you want to be looking through your website. Is it clear what you want your visitor to do next? What is the next best step? And make it super easy. Again, you want to minimize any jargon on those buttons and just make it super easy to navigate and really clear what you want them to do next. Those are called calls to action, and you probably want more in there than you're thinking. So on a standard sales page, you're probably looking at wanting 4 to 5 calls to action of whether it's book a free strategy session or join me for a discovery call. Weave those through in appropriate spaces on your page so it really encourages them to take an action move or a call to action. Step number 5 is social proof. Now more than ever, it is so very important to have social proof on your website. And there's a couple of different ways that you can bake that in. One is your standard testimonial that you can just weave through on your pages, or you can build them in a carousel so there's some activity or some motion in there. Ways to optimize your testimonials is to have a headshot of the person who's talking about you, to have their first and last name and a title if that's appropriate. So you really want to make those testimonials airtight. Even more so, if you want to get extra kudos, is to make those testimonials video testimonials. And the more authentic, the better. You don't need a fancy studio. You can ask a client to take a video on their cell phone and give that to you because people, it's believable. We're really looking for those authentic, in the moment, I can see myself in that person who worked with you type of testimonials. And we all know when other people are speaking on our behalf, the validation just goes up. We want to see what other people are doing. We're kind of like herd followers in a way. And when other people are speaking your praises, new visitors are going to listen much more clear. So you definitely want to be looking at testimonials in that way. Weave them all throughout for sure. Harness the video testimonials if you've never done that before. The other thing that's really popular right now is taking screenshots, whether a client has texted you something or it is a Facebook testimonial or something else on a social media platform where it is a testimonial or a review. You can absolutely take screenshots and build those in appropriate ways if that fits your brand kit, so to speak. One thing I will say with that is definitely, so you are legally protected, make sure that you're reading the terms and conditions on those individual social media platforms, because what was kosher years ago, as far as just snagging a testimonial or a review from a social media platform and just plopping it on your website, may not be kosher right now because of privacy policies and updated terms and conditions. So make sure that you have the right to use that content, even though it's on your page. We technically don't own content that's been shared on the page. We are still in the right of owning the content that we've shared as far as copyright goes, but definitely just take a little peek at the terms and conditions to make sure that you're going to be good to go to snag those reviews and testimonials and weave them in on your website to optimize your social proof on your website, on your home on the web. All right, number 6 are headshots. Headshots cannot be undervalued or underestimated because people are going to be having a relationship to you. They want to know who they're working to. So sometimes this is tricky for solopreneurs to put themselves out there in this way, or they think that one headshot on their about page is good. But I'm a real fan of using multiple headshots in various settings, whether you're a coach and it's chatting with someone at the other side of your desk, or if you are, a personal shopper, if it's in the field, whatever is going to really pull in your personality, show and highlight what you do and who you help, and give you in various settings, both in personal and professional. It's really going to build a bond and a relationship to you and have people be interested to take one step towards you and into your world. So make sure your headshots are up to date. And like I said, weave them through your website in probably more ways than you think, right? Because people really enjoy that. They really enjoy having those visuals. And beyond brand, make sure you're staying within your company colors. So everything is fluid, it flows together, and it just has that cohesiveness about your brand. And it goes back to tip 1, your brand and your brand elements. So your brand is so much more than your logo. I'll probably do a dedicated episode just on branding because it's such an important building block. But your color palette is how I want to dovetail in your headshots, because those colors that you stay within, those 5 to 7 colors that really represent you and your personality, your core values, and those qualities of your company, they should be reflected through your web page and through your headshots. Interestingly enough, outdated headshots can actually cause some ripples. And I know that from a firsthand thing. 2 things. One, I had landed on a coach maybe last year, and I really loved her message, made a discovery call appointment with her, jumped on a call with her, and I was like, whoa, who is this person? Because her headshots were about 15 years old, which she went from a brunette to someone with silver hair, which is fine. I think aging is absolutely beautiful. But what it did was it eroded a little bit of trust for me, because I thought, how can you teach authenticity and how to be a spiritually centered, heart-centered entrepreneur if you don't have updated headshots where you're stepping into alignment and authenticity? So it definitely eroded some trust there, and I ended up not working with her. So you want those headshots to really communicate who you are today, not 10 years ago. It's an investment absolutely worth making. Number 7 on how to optimize your website is navigation. So we really want it to be so clear and user-friendly. And again, stair step them through just like a magazine. If you're going to look at your homepage as an index, if you looked at that index like a magazine cover, think about it in the context of standing in the grocery store line and you're looking at the cover of all these magazines. Maybe it's Eating Well, maybe it's Cosmo, maybe it's Fit and Free, whatever. And when you are looking at that magazine cover, think of how they are pulling you in with hooks and snippets, and they're being very reader focused on what's in it for them and the value. Look at your homepage with that exact kind of precision and make sure that you are illuminating each of the pages within your book or within your website on that homepage. So you're being super clear with how you're dragging them through, pulling them through, navigating through your website, and make it super easy so they don't have to click 5 times in order to contact you. Right? If you are a blogger, make it so easy at your top blogs or new on the blog this week. If you have services, work with me. Again, creative and clever and jargon are not going to trump clear, user-friendly language. So they 100% know where they're going to go and what they're going to do. Otherwise, you're going to have higher bounce rates. If people get in there and it's going to look time consuming, or it's really chunky, full of copy, and it's not broken up nicely with attractive on-brand graphics, they're going to bounce more because in all of our fields, there's a lot of competition. How we stand out in a crowded marketplace are following these 7 tips to optimize. And one of the most important ones is that navigation. Right? Is it smooth? Is it fluid? Am I really being walked through where to go next? And we always want to keep funneling them through to either book a call with us or to click that enroll now or buy now button. So it actually has a return on investment and it's not just a pretty online catalog, but there's always action going on in our website, calls to action to bring them to other actions like enrolling or booking. So you can see it's very much our responsibility to provide that clarity and make it super enjoyable. Weave in your personality, have some fun, right? We don't have to be so buttoned up. We can really show who we are and that it would be an enjoyable process to work with us and to enroll in our online courses. I hope that helps. Let me know what your favorite tip is in the comments below. I'm looking forward to sharing with you new videos every single Tuesday on solopreneur success strategies and mindset tips to really bring that momentum, keep that momentum. And then every Thursday, I am sharing a Women Developing Brilliance interview with other entrepreneurs in the field, sharing everything about their journey. So stick around, subscribe, put a thumbs up if you liked this video, and I will see you soon. Until then, breathe joy.